So I guess I have a critique of higher mathematics. Um, I'm only a, I'm not even an amateur in higher mathematics. I am an appreciator of higher mathematics. But I think one of the ways that higher mathematics fail globally, maths, the way maths fail is we're sloppy with number. If we're sloppy with number, we're sloppy with the abstractions of numbers. That includes proportions, relationships, however you want to do it. In some sense, math cannot be done without some concept of length or some concept of quantity, some concept of a parameter of a geometrical object, which is most easily delineated with the concept of length, proportion, this length to that length, etc., etc., which reveals the simplest and easiest formula in all of mathematics, commonly attributed to Pythagoras, the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. But I've been caught up in the last almost a year. I have like 131 pages of this thing I'm trying to prove. It's solid. It's a solid 131 pages because it's all based on number and infinities. So, a lot of times, the people who love higher degrees of abstraction have less respect for numerical precision to infinity. A lot of modern day mathematics are more concerned with um, significant digits of infinite numbers or infinite fractions trailing off a whole number, if we can think of it that way, which is good because it's practical. But perfection has been neglected a little bit. A little bit. Interestingly, the greatest mathematics of perfection that I can conceive of has been originated in my lifetime by Norman J. Wildberger, University of New South Wales. Though I think he was born in America. I think he was born in New York City. Not positive. The greatest mathematician since, I mean, better than Euclid. Norman J. Wildberger is better than Euclid. There. I said it. Yeah, of course. Anyway, I have something exciting. Like, this is the object I'm contemplating. These are the points I'm enumerating. This is my 131st page. And the whole thing about this, because the power of a squared plus b squared equals c squared, people think that's the Pythagorean theorem, but even more powerful is a squared plus b squared plus c squared equals d squared when you're talking about a three-dimensional brick. Those beautiful bricks, baby. And that cross-sectional diagonal. And the numbers get wild. And we're still dealing with numbers like less than 3. Like all of this exists in a number less than 3. Like this exists in a number less than 3, way less than 3. And especially considering the points I've enumerated, numer, numen, name, nombre, name, number, name. Name is the number is the name. But anyway, I haven't proved it yet, but I was just doing some scratching tonight, and I came up with these numbers. I've been using a calculator to check my work as I go, because I don't want to waste time. It takes me more time to scribble and then do the calculation and make sure my scribbling's correct. It takes me more time to do that, but it saves me time if I catch one little mistake. And some, like, I do this shit mostly in the morning and in the evening. Strangely, on the weekends when I have more time, I do this type of thing less, because I just want to like chill and like meditate and like wear the crown. On the weekends I want to wear the crown, and sometimes that's a fast practice and sometimes that's a lazy practice. But anyway, this is exciting, because if I get this right, I don't know if these are going to add up right yet. A squared plus B squared plus C squared equals D squared. We don't know yet what D squared equals. But because of the way this is my 131st page, so I've got a lot before it, So the way I have this set up is, if this squared plus this squared plus this squared equals 1, that means I've done my geometry on this object correctly. So it's exciting. Every time I do this calculation, it's exciting. Every little one of these points is like a dopamine burst in my brain. It's like a shot up my spine. Every little one of these little green points on this object, that's a page, or part of a page, or half of a page, or 1/3 of a page, or 3 pages, or 5 pages. It's exciting to me. It's the excitement that has enlivened my life over the last year, despite my trials, despite my tribulations. I mean, yeah, the day before New Year's Eve, I was in jail. It was a bad situation. I've mentioned it before. I haven't described it yet. I'll get to it at some point. I'm just not in the mood to relive it, but I know I'll get in that mood again. And when I do, I'll relive it in all its dramatic glory. But I'm going to calculate these numbers, and we're all going to be happy. If it equals 1. If it doesn't, I'll hang my head in shame. I will post this video, and then I'll make another video again when I get it right. Because so far, after 131 pages, I've gotten it right on the math. Not my fault. It's an object that I think might have existed before time. That's what I'm trying to figure out. If I get to this point, I'll know whether or not it's true. I was hoping to get it done within a month. Then I was hoping to get it done within a year. Now I'm hoping to get it done within 2 years. And then after that, what will I do? I'll do something else. But for the time being, I'm trying to figure out if 521 585 over 1062 882 squared plus quantity 3, 552, 535, root 3 over 9, 565, 938, close quantity squared plus quantity 1, 147, 634, root 6 over 4782969, close quantity squared equals, this is the best part, after all that shit, after all that nonsense, after all those ridiculous numbers, equals 1. Did you hear the bird chirp? Yeah. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Quantity 521 585 over 1062882 close quantity x to the n squared plus quantity 3552 535 square root 3 over 9 565 9565 938 close quantity x to the n squared plus quantity 147 634 square root 6 over 4782 969 close quantity x to the n squared equals 1. Right there. Equals 1, motherfucker! Yeah, the foundations of the earth didn't shake or anything, but some guy down the road just revved his dirt bike, so that was kind of cool. And all that shit equals 1. So a minor victory for today. The battle was won. Selfishly, I hope this object is true. I hope it proves what I hope it proves, which I've talked about before. I'll talk about it later, unless I'm incorrect. And if I'm incorrect, it will be such a slight miss. But if it's correct, it's one of the coolest things ever. And I'm glad God has shown it to me. Because if this is true, this is a truth that even God cannot undo. When we look at beautiful mathematical objects that even God cannot deny, there are mathematical objects, so to speak. It's a way of thinking about it. I'm using a little bit of poetic language, like there are mathematical objects older than God. What I mean by that is there are mathematical truths that God cannot violate. God is omnipotent compared to you, God is omnipotent compared to me, but God is not omnipotent compared to mathematics. Some people would feel threatened by that statement. I feel reassured. I feel very, very reassured. And let me tell you what I mean. By tracing the geometry of this object up to this exact point, from this bottom triangle, tracing the geometry to this point, using logic, I've come up with the number 521,585 over 1,062,882, that entire quantity squared, plus quantity 3,552,535 times the square root of 3 over 9,565,938 close quantity squared, plus quantity 1,147,634 square root of 6 over 4,782,969 close quantity squared. All those big numbers, the way I laid them out, squared and added together, equal 1. String theory isn't working out. All these things aren't working out. You know, the different pieces of Einstein, blah, blah, blah. All these things that aren't working out. Leibniz, Newton, Euler, did something. Like, all these things aren't working out. Why? If we're sloppy with numbers, we're sloppy with algebra. If we're sloppy with algebra, we're sloppy with geometry. If we're sloppy with geometry, we're sloppy with algebra 2. If we're sloppy with algebra 2, we're sloppy with trigonometry. If we're sloppy with trigonometry, we're sloppy with advanced math. If we're sloppy with advanced math, we're sloppy with calculus. If we're sloppy with calculus, we're sloppy with engineering and physics and everything else. What we need is more 7th and 8th grade math. And what we need is less high school math. Addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, simple algebra, and simple, or rather, sophisticated geometry built on simple principles. We don't even have a rudimentary understanding of geometry as a collective people. That's terrible. Too much calculus for the elite class. There should be more geometry for the elite class and more algebra for the elite class. Because people can pass a Calculus 1 and a Calculus 2 college course, yet their geometry is abysmal. They don't even know the radius of a tetrahedron and how that comports to the ratio, like the radius of a tetrahedron over the side of a tetrahedron, or the reciprocal, the side of a tetrahedron over the radius of a tetrahedron. Like, that is not a commonly known term. It should be. Everyone should know it. Every single human being. Like, we are not rational until every single human being knows that. hyperratio, if I may be so bold.